Happy Friday, happy Friday. I am your host, Dax Abraham, and this is Politics and Tricks. So today I want to start out with a new series. This is the first one, 101, and it's called When Freakin Goes Wrong. We got a few topics to talk about, and let's get to it. The first person on the list of When Freakin Goes Wrong is Antonio Brown. He's a New England Patriots wide receiver, actually one of the highest paid wide receivers in the league. They gave him like a $17 million bonus. But recently he was accused of 2 sexual assault, with actually about four or five incidents from 2 women. So the first woman, her name is Brittany Taylor. They are college classmates. And the first 2 incidents with Brittany Taylor were sexual assaults. So the first incident, he kissed her without consent. I didn't know that was a sexual assault. But again, I'm a big on personal space, so I don't know how she let him get that close to her, but apparently he kissed her without consent, so that was the first incident. The second incident, he exposed himself, and she fled the hotel room that he was staying in, because I guess she went to visit him, and he exposed himself. But I forgot to break down their history. Their history is they are college classmates, but also she trains him on off seasons as well as when he's out of town in the city where he plays for whatever team he plays for, in this case New England Patriots. So when he's out of town, she's his out of town go-to trainer, basically. So meaning sometimes she's around him and around him alone. So with the first incident, like I said before, he kissed her without consent. That's sexual assault. The second sexual assault, he exposed himself in a hotel room and she left, right? A few weeks later, this is all under the second incident, a few weeks later, she went to his house and they were watching church service on her iPad. I guess she was crocheting a sweater and a hat too at the same time, watching church service on the iPad. And allegedly, Antonio Brown got up and stood behind her while she was watching a good old sermon, and listening to a good old hymn. And he stood behind her and masturbated and ejaculated on her. So even after that, she still decided to come back and see him again one more time. The third time, they went clubbing. They left the club. And when they left the club, she went back to his house. He cornered her in a room and raped her. Now, I have 2 daughters, and I tell them all the time, do not go anywhere with any man alone after 8 o'clock. If you do meet up with a man, make sure it's in a public space. Don't go for no long walks. Don't go to no man's house, because it's a straight booty call. After 8 o'clock, they're going to try their best anyway. Come over and watch Netflix. Okay. You going to be the Netflix. But these were the 3 incidents from Brittany Taylor, the first accuser. Now, second woman decided she wants to come out and also state she was sexually harassed as well as assaulted. And basically, this particular person, they didn't mention her name, but she was painting a mural in his Pittsburgh home. I guess when you get $17 million bonuses, you got houses everywhere. She was painting a mural in his Pittsburgh home. The artist says at one point she was kneeling in a kneeling position while painting, and turned to find behind her a naked Antonio Brown holding a small towel over his genitals. A small towel. He was flirting with me, but I paid him no mind because I was there on business. That's what I'm talking about. Focus, stay on the bag. Stay on the bag. I already seen him with multiple girls in a short time when I was with him, says the woman. So she wasn't interested because she knew he was promiscuous, basically. She said, I was 40% done on the second day she returned to the house for the mural. And I was on my knees. It seems like a common thing here. She's always on her knees. Nonetheless, she's painting. On her knees, and he came out again. She said this time he was butt-ass naked. And he had a hand cloth covering his penis and started a conversation with me. Like, yeah, hey, what's going on? You know what I'm saying? The mural looks real good. You know, you okay? You need anything to drink? You need anything to, sip on? You good? So she said, unfortunately, I've been tried. by men a lot of times. So I just keep my cool, and I just kept paying. Like I didn't bother. I'm here for the money. Like what you're trying to do ain't nothing. I ain't even worried about it. But she's the second accuser that has came out about him being the freak that he is. So with this series I'm starting, it's called When Freakin Goes Wrong. And this is the first person on today's post that I'm gonna talk about was Antonio Brown. We got many more coming up. But when I point my finger to you, YouTube people, Twitter people, Facebook people, I want you to say when freaking goes wrong. And these are one of these situations. Based off of what I'm listening with Brittany Taylor and the lady, the artist that was painting the mural for him, Antonio Brown is a freak. But I can't help but say, you know, the artist, the artist that was painting the mural, she was there on business, and she kept it business and professional the whole time. But Brittany Taylor seems like, you know, allegedly she wanted him to invest in a business idea of hers that cost $1.6 million. So in my mind, I'm thinking she was like, okay, I have to pay this man some attention. I have to really market myself, or just be in his face a lot till he gets comfortable enough with me to give me $1.6 million to start a business with. But he knew what she was there for, and she knew what he wanted, and she just kept pushing the agenda, thinking he was going to wake up one day and say, hey, here's $1.6 million. Even after all these incidents took place, she went to him with her lawyer, Brittany Taylor, the first accuser, went to him with her lawyer and asked for $2 million to keep hush, to keep quiet about it. And this, to me, goes off on a whole nother scope of things when it's called, like, you know, casual sex. Casual sex used to be a thing at one time you had with a person. You didn't say anything to them if you saw them in the streets. Y'all might have shared something to eat. You might have bought her a purse or whatever. Somebody bought you some shoes, and it was cool. Nobody said anything. It's not like that anymore, though. It's not, especially when you got money. When you got money, you become a target. And the sad part is people are clout chasing now. People trying to kill you. People trying to ruin your lives, ruin your careers, all for the dollar. So casual sex is, to me right now, it's like a Cracker Jack box. You don't know what you're gonna get when you put your hand in that box. It might be something exciting and something you always wanted. It might be something you don't want and you wish you never saw. In this case, I'm sure Antonio Brown wished he never saw her, because he ended up losing his Nike deal yesterday, which was sad, because he had an article came out a while back that he was excited about the fact that he inked this big deal with Nike. And Nike said, you got too much behind you, bro. You trying to bring our brand down with all this. We ain't doing this. But, you know, right now this is still pending, the charges with the two women. Unfortunately, he's going to have to make them go away quietly, because otherwise it's going to be a long, drawn-out case in court, and who wants to be going through all that? I think he's on paid suspension with the New England Patriots until this is settled. And I know he don't want to be out of, hell, the season about to start. If the season has already started. So I know he don't want to be out, not doing anything, even though he is getting paid for it. He just don't want to be doing it. So we're going to keep an eye on this. We're going to keep an eye on this and see what it's all about. I'm going to keep you guys posted on any follow-ups or updates concerning Antonio Brown. But this, like I said, it's going to be a series called When Freakin Goes Wrong. And it's a series 101. So first person was Antonio Brown, New England Patriots. Much success to him. I hope everything pans out for him. But people, y'all got to understand, casual sex just is not where it's at anymore. The next person we want to talk about, Kevin Hart, is being sued for $60 million by sex tape partner Montia Sabag. Now, if those don't remember, Kevin Hart, I think about a year and a half ago, one of his homeboys was jealous of him and his success as a comedian, because he was a comedian as well and wasn't getting as much clout as well as, there you go, there's the word clout again, much as clout and success as Kevin. So he decided to blackmail Kevin by planting, for one, he got access to Kevin's hotel room to strategically put a camera in his room to record him having sex and try to extort him out of money. But in the end, he was found out to be Kevin's good friend that was doing it by the police, and ended up being charged. But in this case, the woman that was on the sex tape with Kevin, Matia Sabag, filed a lawsuit with the comedian and others involved in the 2017 incident. Wow, so it was about 2 years ago. Claiming that Hart and his friend, JT Jackson, that's the guy I was telling you about before, set up a camera during their rendezvous, per the papers. She's alleging that they are responsible for being negligent, inflicting emotional distress, and invading her privacy. So she's saying because she wanted to go have a threesome with Kevin Hart, and they recorded her, they were being negligent. They were being negligent, inflicting emotional distress. I wonder, was that inflicting emotional distress during that threesome? I wonder, was it emotional distress then? I guess not. Invading her privacy. Invading her privacy. You know, that one I can go for. That one I can go for, because some people like their business kept quiet. I don't want my stuff out there either, but you know, hey. But these other two, negligent, girl. Anyway, she's 28 years old. And let his friend into his Cosmopolitan Hotel suite in Vegas to set up the hidden video cameras. Jackson was previously, which is Kevin Hart's best friend, previously charged with 2 counts of extortion in regards to the tape, but denied ever extorting. He did it. Sabag is filing a suit now, although the incident occurred 2 years ago. Excuse me, guys. I guess her lawyers told her she had a short window of opportunity to get this money out of him, so she better go ahead and file this thing now. And she became aware for the first time of the video existence, and that she had been surreptitiously videotaped while naked and engaging in private sexual activity in a private bedroom that the privacy had invaded. Let me see. Her privacy had been invaded. She said, I was involved with Kevin Hart a month ago. I'm not extortionist. I'm not a stripper. While also calling, she talking down on strippers. While also calling Hart a victim in the case, I am a recording artist. The irony. She's a recording artist. And an actress. I have not broken any laws. I had nothing to do with these recordings. I'm truly sorry for any involvement in this. Hart was married to Eniko Paris at the time, the couple who was still together. Now, Eniko, this is what I heard. Now, I don't know who they is, but that's what they is saying in the streets. And Kevin and Eniko, his wife, is, you know, they swangers. S-W-A, not S-W-I, S-W-A-N-G-E-R, swangers. So, for those who don't know what swanging mean, they like to, you know, he go left and she go right. They're talking about a husband and wife, and they go do their thing with other people, and they come back and they meet up, and they might all do it together. Ugh. But Kevin's worth $70 million, but Matia Sabag is suing him for $60. So she's basically saying she's received so much emotional distress from this situation. I don't mean to laugh. I just don't mean to laugh, because you know what you're getting yourself into. You were so gun-ho on getting in the bed with a celebrity, a married celebrity. You think, ooh, I'm going to get in here. I'm going to give me a couple of dollars, give me a bag. He probably going to take me on one of his shows or put me in one of his movies. You know, because my poontang that good. My sex that good that he going to put me in one of his movies. Girl, bye. It's weird to me that she's doing this. And, you know, maybe she is suffering. I don't know. But again, back to what I was saying before, casual sex, you don't know what you're going to get. It's like a Cracker Jack box. People want to kill you for sex now. People want to extort you. People want clout chasing. That's the really big one. That's the really big one. People don't even keep quiet about their sexual experiences no more. If they had sex with any entertainer, celebrity, athlete, as soon as it happens, they're going straight to Instagram or straight to Facebook or some outlet, Twitter or something, and put your video up, screenshot the messages you sent, and say, this is what we've been doing. Now put me on Love and Hip Hop, because I had solicited sex with this special important person. And that's my claim to fame. Okay, so Kevin Hart, hope he's doing well. And think, she hit him with this lawsuit a couple of days after he went to rehabilitation for the accident he was just in. But they really ain't talking about that too much, because they're saying something between, because the car accident he had recently was with his trainer and his trainer's wife. So they said they were doing a a little thing or whatever going on. But we ain't gonna go off on that. That's a whole nother story. But Kevin Hart just I'm gonna pray for Kevin Hart. I'm gonna pray for Kevin Hart because it seems like everybody got it out for him right now. Again, when you become so successful and so rich, you become a target. It's just simple. You have to keep your circle small, not large, small. The next person on the list is Dave East. Again, what's the topic for today? When freaking goes wrong, and this is a damn good one. Dave East cited for misdemeanor battery with alleged incident with 2 women. Now, for those who don't know who Dave East, he's a Harlem rapper. And I wish these media outlets would stop calling people rappers. Rappers like the new name for like thug, I think, to my opinion. It's almost like degrading people sometimes, or degrading people. You're a rapper. Why you can't be an artist? Do they say country singer, or do they say artist? Do they call Beyonce or R&B singer or pop singer, or do they call her artist? Anyway, Harlem rapper Dave East received a citation for misdemeanor battery. The alleged incident involved Dave East and 2 women in a room. Damn, seems like Vegas where all the drama and the trash go down there, don't it? In the Las Vegas hotel, 2 women. The rapper claims he was assaulted by one of the women who received a misdemeanor battery citation. The woman reportedly told police Dave threw punches 5 or 6 times, with one hitting her arm. Dave East attorney Stacey Richmond claimed that one of the women threw a soap dispenser and champagne bottles at her client, striking him in the head and leaving him with cuts on his arm and his leg. Remember now, the whole intention of this situation was me and the both of you are gonna get it on. But me, in the end, is gonna come out with lacerations and scratches and bruises afterwards. How does that work? What did I tell you? When freaking goes wrong. So basically, he went to the hotel with 2 women. One of the women felt insecure and felt bad because he wasn't paying her any attention the way he was paying the other woman some attention. So she started hurling champagne bottles. For those who've ever drunk the champagne before, y'all know how heavy a champagne, how thick and heavy a champagne bottle is. But she was hurling it, and that soap dispenser. So she was highly peed off at him, highly peed off. But all he wanted was a good time. See what I'm saying? When freaking goes wrong. So we done talked about Antonio Brown, Kevin Hart being sued for $60 million for an incident that happened 2 years ago, and Dave East trying to have a threesome and coming out with bruise like he'd been in a match with Floyd Mayweather. Oh, Lord. So I got all the 3 people out of the way to talk about the last person, which I think it's not necessarily a sad situation, but it's justice. Finally, justice being done, and it's a Democratic donor by the name of Ed Buck. Ed Buck. I think Ed Buck just got bucked. He's accused of running a drug den after the 3rd man found at his house almost OD'd. This particular man didn't OD, but there were 2 other incidents where gentlemen OD'd. And basically, Ed Buck, when freaking goes wrong, Ed Buck he's a part of the he's a LGBTQ IAPP LMNOG QRS. He's a part of the LGBT. He's an activist for the LGBTQ community. He's also a really big, large Democratic donor. If you go on Google right now, you'll find picture stills of him with Hillary Clinton, because he's donated thousands. I'm talking about in the hundreds of thousands to her campaign back in 2016, and other people that are running as a Democrat. He's donated money to them as well. Long story short, Ed Buck was arrested because the person on September 11th by the name of Joe Doe. So this tells me this was a sting. They were watching him. They knew what he was doing, and they wanted to get him. So they sent somebody there to do this. The guy's name was Joe Doe, 37-year-old man, and basically Ed Buck is into this sexual thing of let me inject some meth into you and watch you die. Because I get a thrill off of watching you die off meth. And like I tell people, if somebody tell you something is free, it ain't free. Yeah, come to my house. We can get high. We can chill. We can just, do it. Just do what 2 grown people do. But the whole time he plotting on killing your ass. So September 11th, 37-year-old man named Joe Doe left his apartment and went to the police because I guess he kind of went out from the drugs, but then he came back. And then, now she know good and well she ain't had to walk all over, she had to walk around another way. Anyway, Joe Doe, and he suffered an overdose, basically. So he's 65 years old, Ed Buck. He's now facing felony counts of battery, causing serious injury, administering meth, and maintaining a drug house. I wonder what they found in the house. But he had two other incidents before this one particular. He had two other incidents before this one on September 11th. He had a death of a 26-year-old by the name of Jamel Moore in 2017 and a 55-year-old by the name of Timothy Michael Dean in January earlier this year. So after these two incidents, the police was watching him carefully because they knew he was going to continue to do this. And if anybody go online and look at Ed Buck from maybe 5 or 10 years ago and look at him now, he's addicted to meth. He is. You can tell. It's really bad. He looks like the Grim Reaper. He looks like Skeletor. Really bad. Oof. But the mother of Jamel Moore that died in 2017 has decided, well, she actually sued him, civil court, because she wanted to say it was a wrongful death and it could have been avoided. So I think that case is still pending. But recently, Ed Buck was actually given a $4 million. Well, the prosecutions are recommending his bail be set at $4 million. He got the money. He's a very rich man, you know? So he's probably going. He's a very rich white man. So he's going to get off more than likely with probation or something of sort. And they're trying to. I think they just announced also they're looking back into the two other cases to see what take place because they're trying to fry him. That's what they're trying to do. They're trying to get him. So these are the four pieces I wanted to talk about today in the new series called "When Freakin' Goes Wrong." Like I said before, we had a first incident where a person is a big old freak and he think he can just go around just showing his Johnson to everybody and nobody ain't gonna say nothing. The second person is out here freaking, him and his wife, and they're freaking so much that people are trying to clout chase now and get money out of you. 60 million, but they want to sue you for 60 million, but you worth 7. And third person, Dave East, he want to do what he talks about in his songs, threesome, menage a trois. And the girl got mad and decided she gonna show you what a menage a trois is, all right. She gonna hit you with 3 bottles across your head. And the last person, Ed Buck, he get a thrill out of killing people, man. Killing people for sex. Y'all tell me what y'all think in the comments. I just know this is some crazy stuff to me. But it's Friday, and I figure I would bring y'all the crazy on Friday. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Please like this video. Subscribe to my page, Politics and Tricks. And my name is Dax. I am your host. And I hope you guys have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. Peace.